Welcome to another episode of the Center Circle podcast. Top one podcast for everything football. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to football on this particular day because so much has happened. I get to do this with my bros, with my G's, with my lunatics. I start I start with Chappy Chase. Lunatic in chief.
Number one.
Head boss crazy.
You know the vibes.
Chappy.
2024. No grief for anybody.
No grief for anybody. As
Chappy must watch.
He must shine.
Chappy must shine. As Liverpool what did you guys? I don't even know. What anyway, we'll get there in a sec.
Okay.
Little Giant, what's up now? How's it going?
Center Circle podcasts, the best and total football. If you are not tuned to us, you have missed a lot, but you can join us and join the train. We are open to all.
Absolutely. You see, something about this podcast that I like very much is the poise and the demeanor Little Giant speaks with. Very, very much like me, which tends to happen when you're a Man U fan. Because if you're if your club,
Unfortunately, we Man U fans are not well located on the table.
we have like they're just you become humble when you're a Man U fan,
Well,
like automatically.
For national peace.
Arsenal,
Yo.
bro, what's up? How's it going?
Oh man, I'm good. Great to always be back here discussing football with my guys. And always nice to be a pain in this man's butt. So I'll be a pain in his butt again today because that's what I do on the Center Circle podcast.
I'm getting ready to gun down Bayern.
Oh yeah,
Get ready,
it's
yo,
big.
and that reminds me, Chappy, your bets.
Yeah.
We'll get there in a
I am
bit.
a man of my word.
We'll get there in a bit. But speaking about Bayern, so first topic of today, let's just run by this really, really quickly. Congratulations, Bayer Leverkusen, on winning the Bundesliga in historical fashion.
Clap for them now. We have the
I'm about to say-
Nigerian brother there. Yes, now.
Historical fashion. I don't think I don't know. I don't think I've seen something like this since the Arsenal Invincibles. Like
No.
this, and even
Gerard at Rangers.
Gerard at Ray, okay, I mean, maybe, but like, it's really unprecedented for something like that to happen. Even when you think about the Invincibles and even the Invincible season, I think they had 10 draws, 10, 12 draws. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. This Leverkusen team under Xabi Alonso have just been running roughshod over everyone in the Bundesliga. So just to touch on that, because that's a very historical feat. Nothing like that I've seen in football. And the fact that it's happened in the Bundesliga by a team that's not named Bayern, that's something else. So props to them, major props to them. I don't know. Do you guys have any particular comments on just this Leverkusen team and just Xabi Alonso?
I mean, for me, first of all, congratulations to Bayer Leverkusen. Congratulations to Xabi Alonso. And of course, congratulations to Victor Boniface for winning his first Bundesliga. Like you said, it's a very, very profound performance that these lads have put up this season, right? Winning, not losing any particular game. A couple of few draws and more wins, right? I don't know if they can repeat this feat again, but let's celebrate them for what they've done this season. And it's really, really exciting to see what they have achieved in 2023-2024 season.
Great. Chappy, what's up?
They're a good side. They're very good sides. Play good football. I don't think there's anything.
The way this guy talks about any team that is not named Liverpool.
Very,
No, it's
very,
not-
very,
this guy's
like, that's not- yeah, they're
No, I
very
mean
good,
we've all seen the Bayer Leverkusen of the 2023-2024 season. They've played perfect football. Their attacking plays, I mean, is one of the best in Europe. They've got best left back, right backs, or should I say left wing backs, right wing backs. They've been attacking on all cylinders. Even when Victor Boniface was injured and he was absent at the Nations Cup, AFCON, they still, they had to muster up more goals, win games. They had to play perfect football.
Well, I would say there's a lot to talk about Leverkusen.
Okay.
If you look at the table from 2000, only few clubs have been there frictioning Bayern. At the time, you even had more. There was Werder Bremen, Stuttgart, and then Dortmund in the mix. Now, from 2010, Dortmund has done a back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. The list reads Bayern. And so from nowhere, you have a Leverkusen atop the league at the end of the 2023-2024 season. And it's in the kind of Leicester years, I don't think bookmakers would have had Leverkusen in the conversation at the opening of the season. Xabi Alonso got there, they finished 17th in an 18 log table. And now ceremoniously the town Leverkusen is a town. That town is agog. People are going crazy, literally speaking. The unthinkable has happened, and the meaning of this is, as from now till the end of the 2025 season, whatever position Leverkusen finishes, you'll be referring to them as the champions until somebody
Defending
else.
champions.
Yes. And again, they have over 40 games unbeaten. They are attracting attention. Leverkusen now have European nights, call it Europa League, but I mean, this wasn't there before.
And they'll be in the
That's
Champions
a
League
big
next
leap.
season.
Now, they will be able to afford, we don't know where the groupings will go. It will be awesome for Leverkusen to host the likes of Real Madrid. And the fans, local fans, can see Manchester City, Barcelona all coming in. I think it's bigger than what we can quantify.
I also want to bring this particular point to mind, which is something that a lot of football fans talk about. I disagree, but I want to see what you guys think. Now, there's this thing that football clubs say, managers say. I've heard it from, as I think about it, I'm thinking about so many managers. You hear it from managers like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You've heard it from managers like maybe Ten Hag, if we're sticking with the Man United situation. We probably heard it come from Arteta, maybe even Jurgen Klopp at some point, where managers describe football as this project, this process, this almost like a story, a development arc, where these players develop, they morph into the caliber of players who can challenge for league titles and things like this. And I've always disagreed with that point. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. But situations like this really bring it to bear because Leverkusen, like you rightly said, they were 17th last season. They were 17th last season. This season, they're the champions. So is football more like, because when I think football, one other sport that comes to my mind is like, it's a race, right?
Of course.
Everyone lines up on your mark, set, ready, go. And then everyone runs, and then someone wins. There are a couple of losers. There's a good number, 2, 3, but whatever. There's a number of people that, and then you can't always predict what's going to happen in the next race based on what happens in the race that takes place initially. And then you can't use that as a gauge to kind of like, guarantee that you're going to perform well. And this is a very, very good example. Leicester was a good example. It also happened with Chelsea at some point, whereas the season they finished 10th, won the Champions League the same season, were really competitive in the Premier League the next season. So there's something to be learned from there. And this is important because there's one particular man on this table that's been saying that some people don't have a chance of winning something because they've not won it before. So I just want to highlight that a little bit because it happens. Any contention, Chappy? Any disputing?
No, not really.
Chappy, you're calm today. What's going on?
He knows why he's calm now.
Okay, yeah, he knows why he's calm. Okay, let's
We'll
move.
get there. We'll get there.
No, we are entering the scenario as it is. So, Premier League over the weekend. Liverpool lost. Arsenal lost. Let's start with Arsenal. We'll touch on the Liverpool situation because Liverpool had lost first, and there was an opportunity for Arsenal to take advantage, right? Title race, 6 games left, 3-horse race, and Liverpool lost. Arsenal would be top of the table if they had won right now, but they lost. How do you feel, my bro?
I mean, for me, honestly, it was really sad for me because I mean, really expected that Arsenal would win that game, especially with the current form of the Arsenal team, right?
And they were
But
home.
yeah, and we were home. But at the same time, I also know that Aston Villa has been a very strong side this season. Oli Watkins has been phenomenal this season and everything. So personally, for me on that day, I was actually skeptical about that particular game, but I didn't watch it unfortunately because I was seeing the scores at 80th minute was still nil nil. Like okay, whatever, man. We just draw the game and you know, and I go on and see a loss. For me, it was very very disappointing. But like I told all the trolls who came at me on my WhatsApp and on my Twitter, because I mean, trust me, I give it to them, especially the Chelsea fans. But I think lately the Liverpool fans have been making so much noise, right? And I just told them that it's still a fight to finish. And
I mean,
I'm from hey, calm down. Let me see what I have to say. They'll ask you,
Is the
right?
fight over
I
for
said
us
I
now?
said something 3 weeks ago.
My guy,
I
wait.
repeated it 2 weeks
My
ago.
guy, wait.
I said it
My
last
guy,
week.
wait.
Okay, let's
My guy, wait. The fight is
Okay.
still on for Arsenal. I don't know about Liverpool, right? And I feel like we'll fight to the finish, and whatever it is at the end of on May 19th, we'll know who we crown the EPL.
I said
Chappy.
something 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I repeated it 2 weeks ago. I still stood on that statement
Okay.
last week. And what I said was Arsenal are enjoying the season because they've not gotten to that part where your mental capability, your physical strength, your fatigue management comes into play. This is not just about winning a trophy. This is the English Premier League. You have City, Liverpool, and Arsenal going for the same trophy. Now, past winners, City and Liverpool, very good. The last time Arsenal won it, I think that was. Hold on. I'm
But why are you
trying
particular about last time?
because
Why
history.
don't you do with
Hold
the
on.
current?
No, you don't just talk about the current without visiting history. Now, there's something I said. I'm trying to let you understand that what I said those 3 weeks ago actually is making a whole lot of sense now because I said Arsenal will get to a point where the trajectory stops going up and starts going down. And after that game where they lost against Aston Villa, I said it has started already. This is the time where they will struggle. They've gotten to that point. Remember last season what happened after they drew Liverpool, the second leg, when they drew Liverpool. I think that was when their season went sour because they were on top. They were first on the table. They were first, and then they drew Liverpool, and then from there started losing games, started drawing games, and they just crashed. So I'm saying the same thing will happen. When I said this 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, last week, I said this is Arsenal we know. They just need that one stone.
Okay, just one sec. Chooks has been chopping at
No,
the bit.
for real.
So,
This guy, I don't know, but like I think it's unfair to say Arsenal has bottled the league, right? I mean, let's go back to the history he's trying to reference, right? Yeah, prior to now, people would say around February, around March, Arsenal would drop the ball, right? Arsenal has not dropped the ball this season, all season long. And even one loss against Aston Villa cannot be qualified as dropping the ball, right? I know the history he's trying to reference, and the history is that Arsenal would not see through to the end of the season. Arsenal remained the only team that hadn't lost a game this whole year until the game against Aston Villa.
Can I ask a question, please?
go ahead.
The question we all know Arsenal still have 3 big games to play. They have Chelsea to play, they have United to play, they have Tottenham to play.
Tottenham is not a big team as far as I'm concerned, please. Chelsea also
Now,
is not a
do
big
you
team
think
to
you
play.
can get 9 points from these 3 games?
I'll get 3 points from.
Do you think you can get 9 points from these 3 games?
there's a big chance for us.
I'm
to
asking you a question.
Yes. From with the way these three teams has played this season.
You are wait.
No,
you
now
are a United fan.
let's look at it now. With the way these three teams have played this season,
season.
Arsenal has a great chance to get 3 points from these three teams.
So you're saying
Easily.
you get 9
A
points.
team I'm even scared for is the game against Everton, the last game of the season, right? Because Everton is on a relegation battle
Let us
on
even
their
add
own.
the Everton game.
No,
because now
I-
they're fighting
no,
relegation.
that's
They
what-
won't even
for
let
me-
you have it easy.
So for me, that is even a tougher game than against Chelsea.
I
Don't
just
even
hope
don't
you
even
guys are seeing
mention
what I'm
Chelsea.
saying. I have showed you the blueprint 3 weeks ago, and I said these people are not going anywhere.
This guy.
I gave you the blueprint 3 weeks ago. I said it.
But
I
you
said
cannot-
when I said
but
we were
you-
going
your
to,
blueprints-
I was very disappointed when Brighton couldn't do the job. They couldn't start.
Brighton?
They couldn't start the downfall. It was
Brighton
very sad.
that collected 3.
Then
Okay, as a neutral, let me tell you this. As a neutral, I don't want to say Arsenal have bottled it. Remember, like 2 weeks back, Arsenal fell from top of the table and still went back immediately.
3 times this season.
So that's one. Then two, if you look at the stats I have here, Arsenal have the tougher fixtures or the toughest of the three, but has the best home advantage. Of the remaining matches, Arsenal has 3 home matches. City and Liverpool have 2. So maybe that could count.
Arsenal still
for
has
something.
a larger goal difference.
I'm coming. Then Arsenal in the running, their opponents who they will be facing have averaged 44.3 points for Arsenal, while against Liverpool they've averaged 47.1. These are stats that could come into play. Then again, Arsenal will be playing Wolves, Chelsea, Tottenham. Now, Chelsea, Tottenham are tricky for Arsenal. These are all London derbies.
Wolves. Don't
And-
overlook
I'm
Wolves.
coming. Well, I'm starting with Chelsea, Tottenham. Pochettino is in his maiden season. It is this kind of match, just like against Man United, he will want to establish bragging rights. So there are people that will make the job difficult for Arteta. Very well. But all said and done, what the fate that befell Arsenal, interestingly, the same fate that befell Liverpool.
We'll get there in a point.
weekend.
We'll get there.
Just that Arsenal had a returning former manager who, give or take, has 1 or 2 inside advantage. And then Unai Emery is not a nobody. He is also a new coach in England. And we must say, whoever wins this league, I will not be surprised if Emery wins manager of the season. Whoever wins the league. So it's not like Arsenal fell to and like, let me start like this. Arsenal didn't fall like Manchester United.
Okay.
They fell gallantly.
you see what
Okay,
happened?
so the suggestion here is that Arsenal have, again, like it's basically still what you're stating. It's like they have mental fragility. We're moving from Arsenal for a bit, but I just want to it must be a little bit of a worry, Chooks and other Arsenal fans, because that was an opportunity. Like, it would be a whole other conversation
Again.
had they won the game. But then they didn't win the game. So what does that, is it just another game of football, or is it, because you mentioned something, you said you watched the highlights, and like usual, Arsenal did perform really well. But then there is a bit of savviness that goes into it. We talk about Mourinho a lot, and then Mourinho is quite quoted for saying something like, if you cannot win the game, don't lose. You will not lose. And then do Arsenal have that? Like
That grit.
that grit to go, okay, if we will not win, then absolutely will not lose and we'll finish,
We have just lost only 1 game all year. How?
and that's fair.
Like, come
sorry,
on.
That's
the
fair.
point is,
I
sorry,
can see-
Chooks,
I can
the
hope-
point is,
I said
if
they will
the-
get to
sorry,
this
if the
point.
season
I said
ends
it.
No, hold on.
and Arsenal finishes maybe second,
Yeah.
they will look at this game. That's where Patrick is
No,
going. They
see.
will say this is the game that cost them the.
It could be, it could not be. Because there are some
because
games.
shoot-
Wait, we can hold on. There are some games we could have won that we also drew.
Chooks, let me state it. Let me state the problem for you. The problem now is there are 6 games to go, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal was in a position literally last week that if you win all your games, you win the league. Now you're in a position where you need one of your rivals, particularly Man City. You need Man City to drop points. With 6 games to go, that's always a disadvantage.
And Man City have,
Sorry, just hold on.
they have the
that's
easiest
always a
games.
disadvantage because when you're that close to the end, you don't want to rely on other results. You want to be able to know if you do your job right, if you handle your business, you win the league. Now you're in a position where you are required, like, for you to be successful, you require, and it's not even a joke, it's not a joke of an opponent. You need Manchester City to slip up.
Yeah.
And you've got United to play. They're trash, obviously. You've got Chelsea to play. You've got Spurs to play. But you've just lost to Aston Villa.
Even Man City this season have not been their best. Why are we saying this thing as if Man City has been high flying all season?
They are
right?
defending champions.
No, it doesn't matter.
You
It
had
doesn't
the,
matter. The point I'm trying to say,
you had the trophy.
which team has played better football among these three this season
This
from
is
all
what
the
we are
statistics?
saying. You're talking
that we
about
are
better
shown.
football. We're
No,
talking
now.
about teams playing dirty football to win the trophy.
Bro,
Okay,
it's not
keep
about
playing
dirty
beautiful
football.
now.
Who has played a better football this
They play,
season
my fans.
amongst these three?
They play.
Right? Arsenal, who has better records apart from this last game that we lost? Arsenal, we have better goal difference. We have conceded lesser goals.
This man reminds me of us.
Come on, man.
Arsenal.
Okay.
Always having that calculation.
So, like,
Arsenal have the best
Come on, man.
young
No.
players. They have
Just one goal,
Alexander
just one
Leb.
match.
We
just
have
one
Van
match.
Persie.
Alright.
We have
Just one
we have
match.
Fabregas. These young boys.
The
will
point
not
I'm
give
the point
you
I'm
nothing.
making, the point I'm trying to make is I refuse to concede that we are mentally fatigued just because we lost to Aston Villa when we have played fantastically well all season.
Okay, fair
all
enough.
season because this is not the first time.
I admit the fact that Liverpool lost against
wait,
Atalanta.
just wait.
Wait, I want to
Just
state an
wait.
example.
No, wait.
Just
hold
wait.
on, hold on. Liverpool lost against Atalanta and we lost against Crystal
Wait
Palace.
now.
But now imagine Arsenal. They drew against Bayern Munich at the Emirates. Then came to the Premier League, lost 2-0 at the Emirates. Do you see that pattern? You see, draw, lost the game,
Bro, yours is lost.
and
loss.
then
Which
and
one
then
was pass?
and
I
then
don't-
and then
I
no
don't-
no no now look at the pattern. It has started already.
Yours don't start.
They drew against Bayern.
I don't know. You're for yourself.
I said something.
You're
I said
drawing
something.
for another person's
Ask me a
headache.
question.
Alright,
I said,
alright. Just
if you
so,
ask me this
Chappy,
question as
Chappy.
a football fan, I'll tell you
Chappy.
City are actually favourites.
Chappy.
But as a Liverpool fan, I'll tell you Liverpool have.
You have
Chappy,
stomach.
Chappy.
You have stomach upset. You're worried about the person that has headache.
Chappy.
Treat your stomach
I
upset
just
first now.
don't like the way
Chappy,
Arsenal does
Chappy
it
will get
about
will get
Arsenal.
to you.
Yeah.
Chappy will get to you in a bit. Last question on the Arsenal debate. Straight to you, Chooks. In fact, you know what? I'm throwing it out there. I won't ask you because you have. But Chooks, Little Jai, you also tell me, should Arsenal end up not winning the league
Yeah.
from here?
Yeah.
Is it correct to say they bottled the league? Is it fair? Is it a fair assessment to say, you know what, they had it, it was in their hands, and they blew it?
That's a very, very tough question to answer. But at the
Fast,
same
Chappy
time,
laughing.
right? I would not put so much pressure on these boys, right? I'll die on the hill that this season, Arsenal has played better than anyhow they've played within the last seasons where I can confidently come and say that you guys bottled a league. No. Even if we don't win this league, I will not be, with air quotes, disappointed. Especially with how we have played this season. There can only be one winner. Fair enough, right? But I will not come here and say we bottled the league or try to cast aspersions at them because they lost the game against Aston Villa. Anybody can.
So another team also in the 3-horse race has also experienced some.
I've started walking alone.
Have begun to stride by their lonesome in recent days, weeks, whatever.
Lonely.
Liverpool Football Club lost in the Premier League, and they also lost at home to Atalanta in the Europa League.
Scandalously.
Yeah, by quite some margin actually. To lose 3-0 at Anfield is quite something.
Whip one, whip two.
Now let's also again let's create context here. Let's paint this picture. This is all happening after Jurgen Klopp at some point this season announced that he will be leaving the club this season. And the general notion from Liverpool fans is that that was going to inspire and spur the players into performing at their highest peak to give Jurgen Klopp the send-off that they believe he deserves. Now, since this has happened, Liverpool have been knocked out of the FA Cup by a struggling Manchester United. They're 3-0 down in the Europa League to Atalanta. It would take some quite miraculous feat to turn that tie around. They've also lost in the Premier League, and they are behind the Manchester City and Liverpool, Manchester City and Arsenal, if not by points, then by goal difference. So it all seems to be falling apart. It seems like from the moment, I don't know, maybe it's from that moment, maybe other factors have played a part, but the notion or the idea that Jurgen Klopp announcing that he'll be leaving would somehow spur the Liverpool players into giving him some sort of trophy, riddled season has been quite debunked already. It's not really worth. So Liverpool out of the FA Cup, trailing now in the Premier League after losing, and they've got a miracle to perform against Atalanta because Atalanta came to Anfield and beat Liverpool 3-0. That is, for lack of a better word, that's embarrassing, basically. So, Chappy, because you've had a lot to say on the Arsenal matter. I don't like the way, since I've been talking, not once have you tried to even,
Speak for
do you
yourself.
understand, to butt in. It's very unlike Chappy. So, Chappy,
So
everyone is...
the
mic
game
is for
against
you.
Atalanta. I just have we just have to give it to Atalanta. They played great football. They attacked. Their counter attacking football style is actually genius. They had to wait. They had to play at the shoulders of the last defensive line, and they made use of their pacey players. And they had good passers of the ball, and their attackers were available to slot the ball at the back of the net. Very good. Now I wouldn't discredit Liverpool in that game. The only problem I saw in that particular game was the fact that Darwin Nunes, sorry to say this, I'm a Liverpool fan, so you need to let me express what I feel. And I feel every Liverpool fan all over the world will understand what I'm trying to say. Darwin Nunes has been a wasteful striker this season. He has been wasteful. That game he had in the first half when the game was 0-0, he had a one-on-one chance to score. He bottled it. There are so many chances he got in the game where he didn't utilize it. He's a kind of striker that plays against a team that has a high line, a defensive high line, so he can run in between the defenders and to score. But when you play a low block type of defending where your defenders are actually back, they're not playing a high line, they're playing a low line defensive formation. He struggles. He doesn't know how to beat a defender. If a defender is crippled, I don't think he can beat a defender. He's a kind of striker who doesn't have any technicality. No, I'm very serious. You can go and watch his highlights.
You have a team of 11 people. Why focus on this one?
Because he is he's supposed to be a finisher. When your midfielders give you the ball, even if you're not playing at your convenience, your convenient position is running in between defensive lines, making those runs because you're very pacey to beat the defenders and then you score. What if you don't have those type of games, those type of defender or defensive line? Then are you going to be useless all through the game?
So is that strictly on him? Does that also say something about the manager who knows that the player has that particular profile and still played in that game?
Now, Diogo Jota just returned from a long-term injury. I think that's like 2 months injury. He was off. So he came back. He got involved in the game, second half, and he had some clean chances. He was just unlucky not to score. He had some headers, some tappings that didn't go in. I mean, someone who is fresh from injury. But even the few minutes Diogo Jota played, the impact were higher than the ones Darwin Nunes played. You understand? Now, secondly, let us take it back to when Liverpool had Mane, Firmino, Salah. Now we had two prolific goal scorers, which were Salah and Mane. Firmino is a clinical striker too. He was clinical, but he was more of
The supplier.
the supplier.
The link.
Yeah, the link between the two players. Yeah, he wasn't selfish. He was selfless, always giving those balls, and he knew how to get those balls to those players. You understand? Now the Liverpool of this current disposition now doesn't have two clinical people at the front line out of three. Only Mohamed Salah is the clinical one. Luis Diaz is just that kind of winger who runs, dribbles, and then comes back, gives the ball to someone. He doesn't penetrate. He doesn't have eye for goals. We can't compare. That is, to me, I feel that is the saddest replacement. Replacing Sadio Mane with Luis Diaz. That is a downgrade. Sadio Mane was a goal scorer. He was prolific. He was deadly in front of the goal. Luis Diaz is struggling. Luis Diaz against City had 3 clear-cut chances, 3 one-on-ones, and he wasted them. Against United, the same thing.
Okay, so here's just like something for you to think like. So, but all this being said, it cannot be that anyone would have expected anything less from Liverpool against Atalanta at home at Anfield
Let me tell you
than
something.
a victory.
Let's say you're a manager. Okay, let's put it this way. If you're a manager, you play a high defensive line where your defenders are close to the center circle, the central circle of the pitch. Now, you understand that when you play, you pass the ball. Now, remind you, Liverpool is a team that loves horizontal passes.
Chappy, the summary is in Anfield.
Okay.
In Anfield, conceding 3. How come all these
Just
3 goals
explain.
were unreplied? Isn't that your point?
I don't even understand. You cannot sabi play.
No.
You guys play terribly.
You didn't score a
You're putting a
one.
You're putting a blame on one man. What happened to your
We will
defenders?
get there,
when
but
you
look
waste
at what
your
Darwin
PSG
Núñez your
look at
defender?
look at what PSG did.
Is Darwin Núñez your
They
defender?
conceded 3, but they have 2, which is a big buffer.
Yes.
Is Darwin Núñez your
A big
defender?
buffer. We are going there.
Exactly.
But when you concede, Chappy, why I'm taking this is this Liverpool are the bookmakers' favourites to leave the Europa. As we speak, Liverpool, before this tournament, were bookmakers' favourites. They have a return fixture against Atalanta. Until they play it, they are now on the brink of elimination. Gasperini, the coach of Atalanta, if you look at him, he's an Italian mafia. I don't think he has any pity for Jurgen Klopp. Yes, he's there to secure his job and make things difficult for Liverpool. Historically, Liverpool are kings of comebacks, but much of the comebacks happen in Anfield. So we don't know how
You're going to go over to
Atalanta and overturn a 3-0. So
Now,
I'm
this
saying-
is where history comes
Chappy,
in.
I'm landing.
Okay.
Whatever your analysis of your individual players, conceding 3 at home and not scoring any to buffer what will happen in the second leg leaves Liverpool a big gulf to close.
And why you're not scoring any? Your defense was
I'm surprised you
Bro,
haven't
you're
spoken
not
about
saying
Van Dijk.
bro.
Hold on, let me say something. Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Now you said something about the attack. We couldn't score any goal. Now who are the people responsible for
No,
scoring?
leave the
Do
individual.
you know?
The
Sorry,
job of-
do you know?
Ah.
Do you know they were even the same Van Dijk was even lucky for that goal mount clearance on Saturday.
We are still talking about the Europa League. Don't take us to Saturday first. The game against Atalanta. Now let me take you back. Let me take you down history line. 3 years ago, Atalanta played Liverpool at home at Liverpool's Anfield. They won 2-0, and Liverpool went to Atalanta and we won 5-0. Coming back against Atalanta is not really a problem. I think midweek. I think this weekend they drew 2-2 in their at their backyard, Atlanta's home ground. You understand? So Atalanta is not really a team where I can say, coming back against them will be that much of a deal.
Sorry, when did this
Now-
comeback happen?
The last time I played Atalanta in Champions League, UEFA Champions League.
I mean, where did Liverpool make this comeback? In what stadium?
They're home 5-0.
You beat them 5-0.
Yes,
Home.
Away.
Diogo Jota. Yes, Diogo Jota
At the
had.
Bergamo.
Yes, Diogo Jota scored a hat trick. Salah won, Mane won.
Although head to head, Atalanta had a better head to head.
That is a lie. That is false. You can check that.
It's there.
That means you're including the historical or whatever,
Bro, what?
80s, 90s, and everything.
Baba, it's head to
We are
head.
talking
now.
about
They've
recent
only
encounters.
they've only
Okay.
met 3
Man.
times.
Okay.
They've only met 3 times.
Okay.
The first was the one you have narrated. At
Okay.
the time, it was 1-1. Atalanta won at Anfield. Liverpool won at the Bergamo.
Okay.
1-1. Now,
History is repeating
recently,
itself.
Atalanta has defeated Liverpool
okay.
at Anfield.
Oh,
So
okay.
head to head until
okay,
the
that's-
second leg.
Okay.
Atalanta holds the head, and these are
Now
things
back to
the
back to what
Gasparini
I-
will hold dear in his heart
back
as
to
a
what
coach.
back to what at the same time. Remember, Jurgen Klopp can still fathom something.
Baba, let him go
because
and
we've
do
had
it first.
Okay, he will. We
Okay,
wish
so
him that.
okay, so
fans.
Chappy, still on you now.
not
Just still on you.
Jesus Christ.
This did not happen in isolation. So when I started speaking about Liverpool, I'm trying to broaden the context here. Liverpool, like I said, out of the FA Cup via Man United, potentially out of because here's the thing, yeah. Liverpool shouldn't even be in a
I want to ask you a
No, just
question.
hold on. Liverpool shouldn't even be in a situation where they need a miracle to go over Atalanta. The point I'm trying to make is
In every
Just hold
Champions
on.
League or
Just
European
hold
trophy
on.
we've won in the past.
Yeah,
We
man.
always have a miraculous game.
here's the thing.
Fact check me anywhere.
Okay, here's the thing, yeah. It is one thing to require a miraculous game against
I'm
Barcelona
guessing.
in the Champions League semi-final or quarter-final. It's a completely different thing for Atalanta to come to Anfield and comfortably beat you 3-0 in a game
Unreplied.
unreplied in a game when we speak about Liverpool's performance, the only things that are there to highlight are the
Individual
incapacity
weaknesses.
to finish of Darwin Nunes or
Diaz.
Salah ghosting.
See,
and
first of all,
Van Dijk
listen,
not
this
playing.
is the part why I say sometimes when you're stating facts, but you're stating facts against an opponent or a rival, they don't get to understand the facts you stated. They just pick the fact that they feel they can deliberate on. Now, I understand the fact that you guys are Manchester United fans, and I remember when I started talking about this, I said, listen to me, listen clearly. I said, Atalanta played great football. I gave them their kudos. I said Atalanta played great football. They outplayed Liverpool. Their attacking football was awesome. Their counter-attacking football it was awesome. They had to play great
It's a whole lot of arms I'm hearing now.
you understand?
Nobody-
I'm
nobody-
trying to
And
listen,
that form has come to the
United,
league as well,
let
to the
me-
league.
Oh my God!
What does Manchester United have to do with this?
Short. Why?
Even the league.
Why?
Chappy, I'm asking you a question. Let me finish the
No,
question and then you
don't.
answer.
You ask a question, you let me answer.
No,
you don't ask a
I haven't-
question and you interrupt.
I haven't
That is bad.
I haven't asked you the question.
Let the presenter
Baba,
begin.
wait.
I haven't asked you the
Let the
question.
presenter.
Easy.
I haven't
Hey!
asked you the
That's the
question.
presenter. That's the host. Let him.
No, hold on. I haven't even asked you the question. You've presumed that you've taken off with
You
it.
said something. You said why
Chappy, I am asking you
Okay.
a question.
Okay, what's
Calm
the
down and
question?
hear the question.
What's the question?
Like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, what I'm saying is Liverpool just lost 3-0 to Atalanta. That should not happen.
Okay.
You stated that, in every European campaign,
Miracle.
at some point they need a miracle. But that's one thing if it's happening against AC Milan in the final or Barcelona in the semi-final or quarter-final, I don't know. It's a very, very different and embarrassing thing for Atalanta to go to Anfield and completely just molest the Liverpool team. No reply. The only thing we can speak about is Darwin Núñez not performing and Virgil van Dijk. It's even completely different to the Arsenal situation we spoke about, where Arsenal 18 minutes in the game, you could tell that Aston Villa are very savvy, defended very well, took the chances when they came. That's a different type of thing than what we saw from the Liverpool performance. Now I'm broadening this again. This is my question to you because it's not just the Atalanta game. That is a microcosm of what's been happening this season. So you've been knocked out of the FA Cup. by a poor Manchester United side. We have to emphasize the fact that it's a poor Manchester United team.
Just like I emphasized that Aston Villa has been a strong side.
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there. And you know what? Actually, if we are actually being fair, there's a point to be made there. It's something to lose to Aston Villa, even if it was a cup game. Although I'm not like letting Arsenal off the hook because you're pursuing the title, you should win. But in a cup game against a Manchester United side that are vastly off the pace, they've got, it's
And in the league,
and the expectation is that you should win. You did not win. You got knocked out by Manchester United. Now in the Premier League, prior to Arsenal losing, the first team to lose was Liverpool.
Crystal Palace.
So Liverpool lost to Crystal Palace,
and they could have they could have even with more
so
goals.
again, what we're
With
talking
more
about
goals.
again, we're talking about a situation where you're not performing well in the cups. You've knocked out of the FA Cup by struggling Man United.
Okay.
Potentially knocked out of the Europa League by a team you should beat, especially at home, and they beat you 3-0. Potentially not going to win the Premier League because you're worse off than City and Arsenal. Arsenal, I think, level on points, but
still ahead.
sufficiently better off goal difference wise. Man City are basically going. And all this is happening in a short span of time. You see, Arsenal fans can still say maybe it's a blimp, it's a glitch. It's, they lost to Aston Villa, it happens.
They stumbled.
When they talk about,
That's what I said.
they can talk about winning games and then they're on form and then that one result comes. But Liverpool, this is FA Cup out, Premier League lose, and then go lose 3-0 to Atalanta. I think those two games followed each other back to back and they were both at Anfield. So the question I have to ask you now is, as a Liverpool fan, because we're not Liverpool fans, so only you will know how it feels, is your season unraveling?
Well, just like I said earlier, I made a statement, a strong statement, and I'm still standing on that statement. I said Liverpool will go to Atalanta's home and play exceptional football. We are going to win there. Is it 3-0? Is it 2-0? Is it 1-0? I don't know. But I know one thing for sure. We are going to win.
I just want to ask one question. You answer that very, very quickly. PSG, for years now, they've been trying to win the Champions League. Is this their moment? They've got Kylian Mbappe. They've got a team that seems to be playing well. And crucially, they have a manager who has won the Champions League before, has won the treble before, is used to these pressures. Very, very quickly, do you think PSG are favorites to win?
I am biased. Arsenal will win the Champions League.
Okay.
Well, I think my brother, my darling friend Chooks, I'm about to stab him at the back. If Arsenal knocks out Bayern and PSG are going to pass through Arsenal, should they get to the final, they will win the league.
Who?
But
PSG?
yes.
Okay.
But if they are to pass through Madrid, Man City, I don't. It's going to be difficult.
Okay. Anyway, Arsenal, Bayern Munich. We'll get to see that. We'll talk about that when the results are out on the next episode of the Central Circle podcast. But again, how are you feeling? I just want to get your thoughts on this because again, it's 2-2. It's really, really tight. And this must be an exciting opportunity for Arsenal. It's a the point of the competition they've not been in a long time. And they're not being blown away. They're really in there with these shots. So how...
And mind you, the first leg was played without Bayern fans
I know.
at the stadium.
Yes, the first
And they
leg.
played 2-2.
Yes.
So now they're going to the Alliance. So
This man is not your question now.
I had to chip in something.
This guy.
I had to add
See.
some spice.
Well, I mean, it's going to be one thing for sure. It's going to be a very, very interesting game, right? As an Arsenal fan, I wish my team the best, right? I know we are a very, very good side this season, and we have demonstrated that all season. Forget about the setback we have with Aston Villa. I think that's just one of those things, right? If PSG can go all the way to the Nou Camp and wallop
Barcelona.
World,
Yeah.
then who says Arsenal can go to Bayern Munich and win?
Awesome. Little Giant, what do you think?
The last three have all ended 5-1.
No, not the last three.
All three. No, don't worry. Don't
Okay.
worry. Don't argue.
Have ended 5-1, and then Bayern are heavy opponents to Arsenal. So with the return leg fixture, they've drawn 2-2. That margin has not happened again. I think it behooves Arsenal to to prove that they've come of age. They now have Bayern's mojo. And I think if they can break the jinx, that can even spur them to believe in having one hand on that trophy.
Awesome.
So I'm saying go Arsenal.
Okay, so you're supporting Arsenal. I will remain on where I stood. My comment on this particular game was whoever will win will work for it. My stance on this game from the onset was always that Arsenal will not be blown away by Bayern, and so
Yes,
far
and they
that
are
is
not.
proving
See,
the
all I
point.
know is that I just look forward to this man.
Now, just
On
to
my
finish off,
Wearing
in
the
the
Arsenal jersey.
event that Arsenal do,
What size do you wear, bro?
in the event that Arsenal do
Large.
get past Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarterfinals, we will not forget, and we do not forgive or forget here on the Center Circle podcast. Chappy Chase will have a full episode of the Center Circle podcast wearing an Arsenal jersey.
Well
before
perfumed.
the episode ends, Chappy will kiss the Arsenal badge right here.
And I'll take a photo. Yes.
You take a lot of
And it will
photos.
be displayed on the
You
screen,
take a lot of
yes.
photos
be displayed on the screen.
if Arsenal get past
So
In the
confident.
make mats now.
Bayern Munich. Now that concludes that. Of course, there's not much else to say, especially with the other fixture is City, Real Madrid. We look forward to just seeing
Fireworks.
creamy football. Football served well. Football with
Marinated.
Quality.
junk football. The type you don't eat with fork and knife. The type you wash your hand
Yeah.
and use your hand to eat. I can't wait to see that.
Delve
And-
into it. Shout out to Paul G.
Final before a final.
right? I can't wait to see that.
yeah.
Now we move on to one of my favorite parts of the show where we ask questions
Oh, man,
and test
I messed up last week.
and
man.
test the knowledge
God damn.
of these people. Now, new rules, guys. When I ask you a question this time, I don't give you 3 tries.
Please, thank you.
So if you miss it once, you've missed it, and we'll be using the same format. I have a question for Arsenal
What happened
fans.
to objective ABC?
No more objectives. You guys are supposed to be the
German,
experts.
German.
You guys
option.
cannot be coming up here with microphones in your face,
Yeah.
talking about football, and
I
you
don't know your stuff.
Are you playing? So I'm going to start with Arsenal.
Oh, come on, man. No.
I'm going to start with Arsenal. First question. I'm not even going to.
Okay, let's go.
Who was the captain of Arsenal during the 1980s and early 1990s, leading the team to league and cup successes?
I don't know, man. Straight up, man. I don't know
Is
that.
that not something Dixon or something?
No, it's not.
Ray Palo.
No, it's
No,
not.
Ray Powell, man.
It's not Ray Powell.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams is actually correct. Tony Adams.
Okay.
Liverpool question. Who was the manager of Liverpool when they won the FA Cup in 1992, their first major trophy since the 1989-1990 season?
Dalglish.
Wrong. The answer is Graham Souness.
So nice, yes.
Manchester United question. Which Manchester United player famously scored a hat-trick against Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final replay in 1999, securing their place in the final?
Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs, correct. So, round 1, United the lead. Arsenal question. Who was the manager of Arsenal during most of the 1980s and early 1990s, guiding
He wasn't born
Don't
then.
let Wenger they know for fans.
Guided
He
the
wasn't
team.
born then.
Try
two
the
league
show
titles
this.
and an FA. I don't make the rules. Like production literally sends me the questions, bro.
Try
So
the
guiding
show
the
this.
team to 2 league titles and an FA Cup win.
You know what? I think I need to go to the Arsenal Wikipedia. You
I'm
know,
gonna act.
and
But,
just
but this is cruelty. 1980s. Like anyway, the
come on,
answer
man.
is George Graham, who I'll be honest, I don't even know. Anyway, Liverpool
Come on,
question.
man.
Okay.
Who was the manager of Liverpool during most of the 1980s, leading the team to numerous league titles and European successes? Chappy.
Bill Shankly.
The answer is Bob Paisley.
Paisley.
You said the
them.
Paisley.
Yeah, that's
you,
it.
you failed the
We
question.
have so many great managers, unlike the other team supporters or their teams.
Moving
Manchester final round, Arsenal question. In 1993, Arsenal won both the FA Cup and the League Cup. Who did they defeat in the finals of these competitions? I'll hint you, it's one opponent. So it's the same team they beat in the League Cup and the FA Cup.
Sheffield Wednesday.
1990.
Correct. Sheffield Wednesday.
He has Googled it. I will
No,
take
I
that.
did not.
Stanley, I don't take that.
No.
Let's
Nah,
give
nah.
him a round of applause.
Na lies.
No.
I don't take that.
No.
Na lies. I don't agree.
Moving on.
I don't agree for here.
Moving on.
Arsenal question. We're in the third round now. Which Arsenal defender, known for his no-nonsense style of play, was a stalwart in the team's defense during the late 1980s and early 1990s?
Tony Adams.
The answer is Steve Bould, who I do not know, which is quite interesting. Liverpool question. Which Liverpool striker, often considered one of the club's greatest players, joined the team in 1987 and became their all-time leading goal scorer?
Joined the team 1987.
And became the club's all-time leading goal scorer.
Ian Rush.
Correct, Ian Rush. 1-1 with United. The Arsenal guy hasn't got any. Manchester United question. In 1999, Manchester United won the treble, consisting of the Premier League, FA Cup, and the UEFA Champions League. Who did they defeat in the FA Cup final that year?
I know they defeated Arsenal in the semi-final.
Yes.
Let me just take a wild guess. Liverpool.
No, the answer is Newcastle United. So we have a draw this week on the Central Circle podcast. Too bad for Chooks. Chappy and Little Giant have a draw this week. We'll see what happens next week. And thus concludes another episode of the Central Circle podcast.
Are you going to come? I think you're going to ask like one more question
to balance the
like
books.
a tiebreaker, yes.
No, there's no need. You guys be on the draw. You know why?
Why?
Because it'd be very, very unfair for you to lose here. Then next week, if we're doing the same podcast, you may now be wearing an Arsenal jersey.
Can
For
you imagine this?
For the sake of our friendship and the consideration I have for your mental health, I will not put you through that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. It's been awesome talking about football with these guys. See you next time.